Oh, good afternoon and welcome to the preview for Happy Valley on Wednesday. Big jackpot up in the TT. There's also a DT jackpot, which is we don't see that all that often, so a little bit of a bonus there. Had a bit of a look at that. Races 6 and 7, so that's definitely going to be under consideration. Going through the card, we start at race 1. Now, the track's going to play fairly even here. There's been no rain, so no issues there whatsoever. We've seen all, excuse me, we've seen all these all year, so don't really want to get involved here at all. I've got Fortune Bravo on top by virtue of the fact Marrera's gone on it and been riding it in some track work, so I have to include it. Billion Gains. I like these horses that have had their 2-3 months off now, coming back at this time of the year. Track work's been okay. It's well weighted here with 51, and if you can get it across from the draw, if it had drawn a marble, I'd be a little bit keener. Out there, he's going to have to work a little bit early, although the run's not too bad early. There's not a lot of speed inside him, so he should get across pretty quickly. If he can actually get the front and they leave it alone, he could make this interesting. Rising Power found all sorts of trouble last start, but this is starting to become a habit with this goat. We've gone for it a few times. Yeah, if you want to have something on it, I'd be wanting 15 or 20 to 1 to be poking my nose in on it. It's not much good. Of the rest, Master Gunner, Young Happy, Jun Hao, interesting one. Its track work's been okay. Red Adventure, probably best of the rest. Pretty ordinary race. 3 on top from 12. Chances to 6, 4, 9, 11 and 5. Race 2. Flying Keeper finally won a race. It's had a million starts this year. Not impossible for it to win again. Wine Lovers, it's ready to win now. Barrier 1, if you can get it up onto the speed and hold up from the good draw, it's got a reasonable chance. Dragon Choice, good draw. Don't like the jock. Doesn't ride a lot of winners. Rides more hot ones than wins, so got to put it in, I suppose. Enjoy the Fun. Forget its last run. Got completely poleaxed mid-race. It's worked well since. It could improve at a price. Massive from out wide with Dickie Lou on it. You know he's going to seal it out of the gates and try and attack. It could run a place. And of the rest, maybe the 1 Jolly Posh and 10 Tang Place could be included. Pretty ordinary race. 3 on top from 9. Chances to 11, 5, 6, 1 and 10. Race 3's got unraced, so we're not interested there. We go to the opening leg of the TT. Now, we've got an unusual scenario here. Normally, these look completely impossible. This time, it looks like there's a possible double banker here. Discuss it with the boys tonight and again tomorrow, obviously, to make the final decision. But my initial thoughts were that Beauty King and Gun Pit look well above these. So I'm sure we're going to be working around those two somehow. Beauty King doesn't need the lead, but from barrier 6, really the best is drawn inside it. They'll probably come across together. Maybe Hartwood will come across from out wide. There's not that much speed in the race. He'll either lead with it or take the sit. Either way, it's not detrimental to him. It was a good win last start. It races well here, track and distance. Gun Pit, he's given this 8 weeks off. Trialled it, just pulled it up in the barrier trial. Casper's training really well at the moment. He's in a purple patch, especially with the closing of Happy Valley shortly. He'll be looking to get as many winners as he can on the board towards a premiership chance, because he doesn't train a lot of winners to shut in, so he needs to get as many. And his last couple of weeks he's been running hot. His horses are going really well. Happy to include Gun Pit. Oyster, barrier 2, shouldn't get as far back as normal. It must go in. The top way, number 2, Dragon Pins from the inside draw. If Deleuze can hold it up, 3 back the rails, I think this can run in the money. And then after that, there's sort of a couple that I think are probably the 4 and the 7 reasonable place chances, and then the 1, 10, 8 and 9 lesser lights maybe can fall into third. But as I say, at this stage, we're looking at probably banking 3 and 6 together and maybe individually. Doesn't look that much depth in this race. 6-3, chances to 12, 2, 4, 7, 1. They look the main go. The middle leg, again, not a huge amount of depth here. Got it down to 8 possibles. Out of the 8, I've got 6 good view on top, with number 9 starting over. Now, it should have won last start, good view. He got knocked over at a critical stage, and got beaten about a length. If it had got out, it would have won easy. Moreira goes on it. He's a couple of bodgy rides from him last week. Hopefully he rides this one a little bit better. He cost us a lot of money on the weekend with Golden Harvest. He murdered it. So, as good as they are, at the end of the day, they're all capable of that just shocking ride. Same as Tommy Berry on the favourite Designs on Rome. They're making all the excuses they like. He said the horse wasn't travelling any good, but he rode it like a complete black. So, anyway, they are jockeys at the end of the day, so there's not much we can do about that. That's out of our hands. I think if he rides this one right, it's going to be hard to beat. Starting over, won well last start, and Casper's got it going good at the track in the morning, so I think these two, they look well above the rest. Behind that, Galaxy Prancer, good chance, but the draw doesn't do it any favours. King Steed, now this is an interesting one. Started short last start, don't know why. And just one pace from the top of the straight all the way to the line. Didn't give away any ground, but didn't gain any. So sort of that tells me that this is probably looking for this type of trip now. So I'm happy to include it. Barrier 3 should be right up on the speed with Douglas. And of the rest, Peppermint, Damon Express, Horse of Plenty and Gryffindor. They're the only ones we'd leave in. I've got 6 and 9 bracketed together at the top from 1, 8, 12, 3, 2 and 4. We go to the last leg. Again, a race that's devoid of a huge number of chances. This leg, we've got it down to only 7 possible chances. The top weight's the interesting one. He's had the one run in the low grade now, dropping down. Now he's drawn a marble, worked well. From barrier 1, should get a nice run on the speed. And it's going to be, excuse me, it's going to be hard to beat. Both sure. Now this is trialled and worked well. And again, another one of Casper's that's going really well. Tommy Berry's taking the ride. Victorious, this found all sorts of trouble last start. He ran it up the clacker of 4 or 5 horses. It was slow away. He got a check. And then he didn't bother riding it out late when it had no hope. Doesn't like inside draws, that's my opinion. I think this horse goes better when he's out in sort of no man's land with a bit of cover and allowed to come around them. I think if he rides it like that, it's got a chance. Season Star, it's won its last 2. Not as well weighted here. Meets Choice Treasure 4 kilos worse off for getting, for beating it by a length and a half. So just there alone, that's why I've sort of opted for the top weight with a good draw and the pull in the weights. I think it can turn that around. Of the rest, I've left Heartskeeper, All the Best, and Meridian Treasure in. But I've got one clearly on top from 2, 3, 5. Then a gap to 10, 6, and 8. Race 7, which is the second leg of the DT. This is a tough race. There's a lot of chances here. I've got one medalist on top. It was a good run last start. He didn't bother riding it out. He found all sorts of trouble really from about the 300. Then he stopped riding it. It just had no hope to get through. Not sure whether barrier 1's any great favours. I don't think it's got enough speed to hold up from there. But with Moreira, if he can angle it out into the moving line mid-race somewhere, I think it's going to be hard to beat. Best Show, it's ready to win now. The barrier, he's going to go back on it, so not that big a disadvantage. If you can get a bit of cover mid-race, it's going to be in the finish. Holmes Legend now, this is trialled well, and I think this is ready to fire. They look the best 3 chances in the race for me. I think the winner comes from there. Behind that, I leave in Ambassadorship, Backbench Blues, Real Generous. The 4, Agial, this is an interesting one. There's not a lot of speed in this race. This could get a bludge up front if he decides to go forward. Just depends on which way they want to ride it. Every now and then he'll go to the front, they leave it alone and it wins. Then the next couple of runs he will drag it back. I think from barrier 7 it's 50-50 which way they go. Your fate will be known in the first 200. If they go forward, it's got a chance. If they go back, probably less of a chance. I've got one on top from 2 and 3. Chances to 7, 10, 6, 9 and 4. The last race, this is a good race. The 1200. Bundle of Joy. Prefer it at 1,000. Barrier 1 probably brings it into the race now with 51.5. You've got to include it. Cool Volant, Barrier 3, 52.5. These look the best two chances. The lightweights look the go here. 10 and 12. The top weight's the best horse. You just don't know which one is going to turn up. It's trialled well, and on its trial it can win this. Likes this track, Barrier 11. Not worried about that because it goes back anyway. There should be enough speed in this race. Rainbow Fighter, Happy Yeah. There's quite a bit here. Moultrie Victory. There's a bit of form in this race, so this is a tough race. Exciting Dream goes terrific this track and distance, and it's obviously got a good winning chance as well. This is a really tough race. Depending on how they run the race, I'm sort of leaning to the 10 Cool Volant. If he can just hold up, don't like the jockey much, but you know, that's probably why it'll be a price. I got it on top from 1 Happy Era, 2 Exciting Dream. I then put in the 10, the 3, 8. Even Windicator Star, it was a much better run last start. The best Windicator Star form appeared here. It can win. 10 on top from 1, 12, 3, 8, 4 and 2. So it's an interesting card. I think the TT actually looks gettable. I can't see a jackpot coming out of this lot. So hopefully we get our bit of luck that we're due. It wouldn't be, it'd be remiss of me to say that we don't deserve a bit of luck at some stage, but hopefully it comes this week. I'd like it to come tomorrow night and then again on Sunday. It'd be lovely to catch a double at this stage of the season and just about remedy everything. For those that are having a bet in Australia tomorrow, Canterbury, the last at Canterbury, number 7 Rastro. This is trialled well. This looks a decent winning chance. There's another one here that hasn't had a run for a while, also trialled very well. No Bad Blood. Now, hasn't had a run for a year. That's always a concern, of course, more than a year, getting close to 15 months. I'd be a bit wary, but if it's a big price, you know, you might want to have something on it. Canterbury race 7, number 7, save on number 2. At Belmont, in the last race, Zuccaros, I think this is ready to win now. It's had its 4 runs. Last start, he was all over the place on this in a 1,000-metre race. I think that's not its go. Up to the 1,300. So, Belmont, race 8, number 5, Zuccaros. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Good luck to all of us for tomorrow night and obviously for the weekend. And hopefully we'll have some joy to report after Sunday. Thank you.